So I wanted to go live this morning and show you what it looks like when it's virtually no wind. There's maybe a mile to 3 miles an hour where I live right here. I'll be taking us over to the Coastal Preserve, Russell R. Burgess Coastal Preserve in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. There's a puddle in the road right there. Can you see it? Well, let's see if I can show it to you. Spoiler alert, that light right there should show up on the road when I move into just the right area. There it is. Did you see it? I'm going to show it to you again for the viewer who just came on. I mentioned earlier in the video, just seconds ago, that light that's at the end of my finger is a puddle in the road. That's how precision the water that covers the face of the mostly flat earth. YouTube Truth is the name of my channel. And yesterday I had the sprinkler running in the front yard. I did a photo op and I wanted to show you that. This is the tidal pool. It's not a tidal pool, it's a pool in the front of my yard here. It'll get really calm now that I've taken the globe out of there. I've got pictures of the globe. There we can see that. The impossibility of that. What happens if I push down on it? Well, the water is going to go flying out just like that. The water drips off of it. A little harder to see. I actually have the globe on the bottom of the wind chime over here at times on one of my photos. The symmetry of the water is amazing. I should say the reflections off of the water. That's part of the deal. This is a light emitting diode. Let's see, let's turn it on. Wow, look at that. How does it work? Well, I don't know exactly how it works. But I wanted to show you a little bit of a difference the lighting makes. So we can see the shadows of the bottles right there. I've never seen that before. I never did this from a broadcast like this in the morning. The tide is coming in and up over here. The sun, because of the season, will be approaching from right over there. Now in the summer, it was coming in way over there. I've been paying attention to this for a long time. Now we can see a bit of a difference with the lighting on the car. We've got some interesting things to unpack here today. Literally. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I like the shoes. They work really good. Got a bunch of them. Yesterday, or I should say on Monday, I went and packed up some dry ice in my cooler. I've got to go ahead and set up my tripod. I'm running without an external mic right now. I'm just using the standard iPhone microphone, and I am my own camera crew. That's what I've got going on here. I could actually use somebody recording this, but that's not going to happen right now. What I've got loaded up in here is my cooler. I was going to leave considerably earlier, and I decided not to. Let me see if I can set this up a little bit better. And what I have in here is some dry ice. And of course, a level that's featured on my photo album. Can't see the bubble real good there. Let's throw a little light on it. Yeah, that's all scalable. The water in there will cause the bubble to seek level. What I've got in here is dry ice. This center container right here. Wow, not much. Where did it go? She's a gone. That's amazing. So for days I had dry ice, now it's missing. Where in the world did it go? That's amazing. But what is the big story though is that this ice, everything in there is frozen solid. Now the dry ice was $2.50 a pound. I put roughly, I could fit $15 worth of ice in that center container. That's all my liquefied nutrition, and $2 worth of ice surrounding it. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to show you the dry ice bubbling. The dry ice is 109 degrees below zero. Wow. It'll burn skin badly, quickly. That's just what it'll do. I have a couple of things here I wanted to show you. For the billboard, being at the billboard, I've got the YouTube Truth, and let's see how that looks. I'll put it over here. You can see, let's see how that is. I can stretch that out and hold it. It's a window reflector. I typically put it on the outside. That works really good. We've got enough natural lighting right now. I wanted to get this broadcast going earlier because it'll be windy in a little while, a little later. And that's part of the issue. I'm going to take us to the coastal preserve and show you the ocean. I've got a couple other things literally to unpack here. I talked about them yesterday as well. I've got the seashell I wanted to show you. God created it. He has no problem creating things, none whatsoever. I'm going to bungee cord my cooler right there so it doesn't go sliding around. And let's see, there we go. Yeah, I think I might want the light there too. And probably my larger level. And the smaller level too. It's all kind of interesting working out the details of a broadcast like this. Okay, we can see the reflection of the glass on the flat water. If I want to show you the reflection of the wind chime, it's going to occur right there. I just need to be back here and drop the lens right down. Recently, I posted a video of a gentleman who does iPhone photography. There's the seashell floating really nicely. Oh yeah, I left one other thing behind. I'll be right back. I had a little feather I showed on the broadcast and it was blowing in the breeze. This particular feather is a lot stronger. It's a kind of it's a pelican feather is what it is. This right here is a very small level. It's on my photo album as well. I can't put my photo album in a comment anymore. They stopped that from happening on Facebook. It's a bit of censorship. Oh well, that's just what they're doing. Let me move this out of the way so we can see the reflection of the wind chime. One of the reasons why I use and feature the wind chime is because it illustrates the non-movement of the earth. The earth doesn't move. I don't need a full pendulum. I've got a friend who actually worked to install one. Matt Long, shout out to Matt Long, great guy. Congratulations on your marriage announcement, your engagement announcement. This right here is a seashell. I got it locally at the Bolanos beach store. Aren't going to find something like this as thin as a light bulb on the beach. It's translucent. We can see through it. The thin part, multi-layered curved surface, not so much. See, what is the moon made out of? I'm not sure, but a 1% moon this morning, not going to see it. Notice the ripples. Let's show you that again from right here. Will the water curve? Absolutely, it's filling the curved container. However, she's demonstrably flat. See that? Well, it's moving a bit. The ripples will go away. When people say the water doesn't curve, I want to be a little bit more precise. It actually fills the container. If I want it to seek its level, I can't get the globe in there though, not now. It's got a cage around it. Water will do that all day long. I can't get in trouble showing you that. If I make water in another way, I could probably get myself in trouble for that, right? Okay, so there's the wind chime right there, the tree, the symmetry of all that. The gentle movement of that. Yeah, how about that? I've got another tool I wanted to show you. I'm going to bring it with me. Oh, yeah, I'm going to show you this while I can. Yep, there's the classic trench coat. I'll probably be wearing that when we have the billboard unveiling. Deep cycle battery, inverter, charger. I can charge the battery up if I want. 100-foot extension cord. I can find power all over the place if I want. I can charge up all my stuff from my alternator, including my Stihl. It's a truth blower, but it's a Stihl, lithium charged, lithium powered. Let's show you what that'll do. I don't think I need to do the trunk closing, but let's see what it does here. Okay, ready? Now that's 60-mile-an-hour wind. Supposedly, according to the heliocentric or globe model, we would be rotating over 1,038 miles an hour at the equator. See the puddle in the road? Not from here. There it is. In a little while, the light will go off. Then we won't see it at all. That's how precision this is. Very precise. I like to play billiards. I'm actually excellent at it. And so lining up photography is much like billiards with a whole bunch of added features to it. Let's show you what the lighting looks like back here. Earlier this fired up. That's our climate control system. That's the low spot in the yard. We almost got flooded out with Hurricane Florence rolling in. See the reflection right there? Now look at it. Where's all that light coming from? Well, it's the indirect lighting of the sun approaching. 6:37 or so, 6:38 today. Little frogs jumping. It's flat water, demonstrably flat. Now we have a few ripples caused by a little frog that jumped in there. This pond was probably 5 feet taller for Hurricane Florence. It was fixing to approach our house. That's right now a reflection of an area that should be cleaned up. But I'm going to show you something. That is a mirror right there. That is a mirror showing the video Bible playing on the TV on this wall. You buy that? It's, I'll show you. I wanted to start the broadcast today showing you that. But it started, I heard a couple of clings on the wind chime, and I thought, if I don't get going with this, I might lose all that calm, virtual non-movement. Think of a plumb bob, think of a wind chime hanging upside down in Australia. It's not possible. That's why I showed it. That's why it's in my photo album. That's why I took a wind chime to the beach and hung it vertically compared to the horizon. Seashells floating. Oh, yeah, this is going to be upside down, unfortunately, but to get it like this, I need to. To get that lens as close as possible. I can't do this with the Nikon P1000. I don't want to flood it out. Okay, so I'm going to flip it back the proper orientation. Just set it down there. So you've got virtually no movement of that. Now we're going to have 60-mile-an-hour wind on the globe. Yeah. I had it earlier, so I was doing it so that the wind was spinning it. A little localized wind. It kind of sunk my seashell somewhat, but it's buoyant because of the airspace in there, right? How about if I rotate it a little bit? There we go. It's just what it'll do. Further illustrating the impossibility of the globe. It's not only that there's no curvature visible, the movement is not there. So I can spin this with my hand, which I will. Got it going on a lot of videos. The problem isn't just that there's missing curvature. The problem is that it's impossible for people to live upside down in relationship to other people. For those that say, the Holy Spirit told me you're wasting your time talking about this deceptive flat earth, I would say, well, you've got a biblically uninformed discernment. And very likely a lack of the Holy Spirit actually living in you. That's, yep, I said it. I said it. I'm actually concerned for the salvation and whether a person is actually born again if they believe we live on a globe, or that looking into it is a waste of time. If you want to see the friend of mine who, it's so interesting. Her and Joni, my wife Joni, when we'd be talking about this and I would take some time to do that and then I would walk off, they would say, see, you know we're right. That's why you're walking away. No, don't take my walking away as you're right. I'll walk away because I've got other things to do. I'm actually a pretty busy guy. On a globe, spinning, wobbling, gyrating. Here, let's just steady that and see what kind of movement we get now. So I would like that individual that put the angry face on yesterday's broadcast. It'd be nice if she would take it off. I don't expect she will. But you can see who she is then if you want. If she doesn't take it off. Ooh, there's a, whoop, can't show you the mosquito that's down there. Now we can see the reflections again. Very clear. Okay. And then one more time, see on the globe here, what we've got is a temperature differential. Now I can make this spin here all day long. Yeah. Spinning, wobbling, gyrating, right? High tide today, the tide's coming in and up right over there. Actually, the ocean is right that way. The school bus, right on time. On their way for some public indoctrination. They taught me that we came from monkeys. Let's see if we can put the headlight down in there. Kinda. Do you think those young impressionable minds notice that? Do you think they know how to get there? Absolutely. I'm not creeping on the kids. They just have a way of accessing the data. Accurate data about the world that we live in. The fragrance of diesel. I love the smell of diesel in the morning. Kind of like Robin Williams talking about. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Robin and I were both diagnosed with bipolar. My brother plaster casted both of our faces. Yeah, my brother is a Hollywood special effects artist. William Forsch, F-O-R-S-C-H-E. He spells it different. She's a round. No, she's a flat. Okay. Let's get the globe out of the way so we can see that a little bit better. How about that? See, absolutely the water curves on the bottom. Fills its container, covers the face of the earth. Do you think the water will run out of the jug? Absolutely. And it'll keep running out until it gets to the bottom of the neck right there. Not much movement there now. I've done this before with the water running out. Oh, but the water curves. Here, let me show you the little drip there. See, that's proof we live on a globe. No, it's not. The globe is impossible to live on. Nobody does. except in the mind of the deceived and the deceivers. 3-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast right now. That's what that's doing. For whom the bell tolls, right? Tolls for thee. How about that? One of my props is missing in action. It's in the garage, I suspect. I think I'm going to open it up. Oh, those the liquid frozen solid. This is the liquid that is my spinach, kale, chia seed, hemp hearts, apple cider vinegar, mixed berries, bananas, applesauce, apple juice, organic grape juice. I love it. Tastes great. Less filling. No, it's actually very filling. I'm gonna be a little bit quieter and I'm gonna take us on in. Joni is not awake yet. Ooh, there's Frank. Hi, Frank. How you doing, boy? Yep. So one of the kitties left that. Was that you, Frank? Hmm? Yeah, maybe. We've got a little different arrangement here. I've got the litter boxes all right here. Joni wanted to add a new one that they have to climb in, and I suspect Frank is mobility impaired, or he just doesn't want to climb in that little rig that Joni got him. Oh, this is pretty cool. That's a repurposed grow light. Yeah. Don't need to be, I could use it, I could further repurpose it to grow vegetables if I want. Now let's see. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. The color contrast and reflections. Okay, so there we can see the sand running. The days of our lives, like the sand in the hourglass, right? Do you think this sand will get wet? Well, not unless I break it, right? Time's running out on the globe, baby. As best I can tell. People are getting hip to this kind of thing, to quote a Jim Carrey line when he was getting interviewed. Oh yeah, let me show you. I'm going to show you Frank's special litter box. It's not working so good. Yeah, see, he's got to climb in there. I don't think he wants to do it. Right, Frank? I like to use the pine pellets. That's what the other one is. We have a mix of those in there. They're much healthier.
Even over those who did not sin by breaking the command, as did Adam, who was a pattern of the one to come.
This would be lower tide, right at the ocean,
For if the many died,
right out there about 7 miles away.
how much more did
Here I
God's
am.
grace and the gift that came by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ,
That's the digital
overflow
me.
to the many?
And so is the one
Again,
talking to
The
you.
gift of God is not like the result of the one man's sin. The judgment followed one sin and brought condemnation, but the gift followed.
So the mirror arrangement allows me to
justification.
see when the moon is up and around and all of that.
Through that one man.
That was the view through the window.
Received God's abundant
We were
provision
right outside the
and
window
the
there.
gift of righteousness
Huh,
reigned
Frank?
in life.
One of the evidences of new life in Christ is that I don't get all mad at the cats.
Just as
That may sound kind of funny, but it's serious. I love these little guys.
so also the
they mess up the bed a bit. This is Lily. This is Dean.
The many were made sinners.
Let's see, where's
Also
Smeagol?
through the obedience of the one man, the many will be made righteous.
Okay, look at
The
the
law
mirror
was
that
added
is.
so that the trespass might increase. But where sin increased, grace increased all the more. So that just as sin reigned in death, so also grace might reign through righteousness to bring eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord.
That's why I do this.
Chapter 6. What shall we say then? Shall we go on sinning so that grace may increase? By no means. We died to sin. How can we live in it any longer? Or don't you know?
That sounds like the Paul's letter to the Romans. Yeah, it's a big deal. All of this is. Oh, what I was going to show you and comment on, if you have cats, the pine pellets work excellent. They're actually used for equine bedding for horses. They're extremely inexpensive, comparatively speaking, and rather healthy as well. $6 for 40 pounds. And it doesn't turn into concrete in the lungs. Isn't that special? That's what the clumping stuff does. I'm going to turn off the grow light. Don't have anything growing in here right now. Up in the attic, I was constructing a grow room that I no longer need any longer. No longer a perceived need or a real need for any of that. We're looking at for just around $6.50. I get baking soda, 13 pounds. I put 2 cups in my bath water. I rinse off with the highly purified, solar activated, carbon filtered water that I get out of this system right here. This is the technology, reverse osmosis. The one that I had was failing. This one works excellent. I heat up the water to about 150 degrees, and then I let it cool off while I'm bathing and I'm in the tub. And then I'll rinse off with that. It's actually a really big deal. So I'm gonna show you this a little bit. I'm not saying that I believe that this is all accurate. It's just a subtle reminder that water does this. Water does that. It'll just fall off of the flat map on the wall every time. How about this? That's what it does. Joni wanted a roll of toilet paper and some wet wipes. I made sure I had that covered. In classic humor. Now let me see how this works. Now, does it turn it around so it actually says it properly? I think it does. I'll evaluate that later. I cut my own hair with what's called the Flowbee. I'm going to show it to you. It connects to the vacuum and does an excellent job. It's what I use. Let's go for a ride to the beach, huh, Frank? What do you think about that? Yeah, how about that little buddy? He's adorable. He's the one that doesn't always go where he's supposed to. I guess I did want to talk about a couple other things.
But now,
okay. Isn't that beautiful?
We have been released from the law.
So I'm going to mute that for a minute. This is a Ansel Adams photo I got yesterday. It's This is called hoarfrost. It looks like it's on a big oak tree. And it's an atmospheric condition that causes the moisture to collect on the colder branches of the trees. Flocking would be what they call it. Oh, it looks like there might be a mountain in the background. I'm not sure. May just be clouds, but yeah, I think it's a mountain. Ansel Adams does a lot of work like that. This slanted glass, the sun will come on in and bounce rainbows up on the ceiling all over the room. When the sun's moving around the room, I should say, the sun is moving out there. The sun and the moon move a course above the face of the earth, and then the different mirrors reflect a lot of different vantage points, multiple vantage points. Yeah, good to see you, Frank. I'll let you listen to the word again.
We know that the law is spiritual.
Doors locked. I'm ready to get loaded. Loaded up. The car to get loaded up. Not much movement on the wind chime. Quite a bit of difference in the amount of light out here. The coastal preserve should be spectacular. I'm going to take us for a ride. In the context of all this, I've got a couple minutes worth of loading to do, and that's just what I will do. But I want to show you, okay, so I'm going to take the globe out. So what it does, the purified water here in glass is being further purified by the ultraviolet light from the sun. It's just what it does. The glass that contains the sand was previously sand that got melted. Where's the mockingbird? They'll do this. Mockingbirds, I've heard them at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I don't know when they sleep. So I'm going to get this all set up so it doesn't look like a mess out here. I was surprised that the dry ice was gone. The video I featured yesterday on my liked video playlist talked about that was one of the techniques that old school techniques was they put dry ice in the atmosphere with planes and projectiles and that. So for example, here's a pack of my stickers. I'll be taking them to the Flat Earth Conference. Do you think they'll float or sink? I'm not sure. Yep, they float, but they're wrapped in plastic so they don't get all wet. That's kind of nice. And then I've got this group of stickers, which is the smaller size, obviously, different configuration. I'll leave the seashell and the hourglass out here. We can see the higher altitude clouds getting lit up there. It's just what they'll do as the sun moves towards us. Lighting makes a difference. That's what it's all about. So I actually went from maximum cold to maximum hot in the car. That'll make all the evaporation on the windows happen. And before I get in the car, let's see, those were the reflections of those clouds right there. Like I mentioned, the light that was on, street light there, doesn't show up on the road yet. At the end of my finger, we can see that's the puddle. We've got different broadcasts showing the sunrise in the summer. There's a couple mockingbirds. Oh, a group of them. Cool. The sun would be coming up way over here. Now today it's approaching over here, and it will do this and set way over there. Now in the summer, it came up over there and did this and would set right there. I've got evidence of that. Video evidence of it, photographic evidence. All that light right there is coming from right there. I can hear our sanitation specialist coming. He operates a diesel automated pickup system for these receptacles. I've talked to him, he's a really cool guy. He'll probably, I believe he's one of my subscribers now. That system, when he pulls up next to the trash can, an arm comes out and just puts it in the hopper there. Here he comes. I couldn't see him, but I could hear him coming. And there it is. So it's a pretty specialized, it's a one-person operation instead of 3. You're good, man, you're on. So I've worked around heavy equipment. There's no way I was going to be putting myself in harm's way. I just wanted to show you how this, oh, it's got compressed natural gas fuel. Wow, no diesel smell. Look at that. So this is Waste Industries that operates that. Man, it's clean. I don't smell any fuel at all. Compressed natural gas is very efficient. No odor. Okay, see my lights in the drive or in the roadway? When I walk forward, it'll go away. And then I'm going to take us for a ride to the beach. I got the board there from the beach, washed up out at the point. Actually, where I'm going to take you, the Coastal Preserve, the ground clearance on the Cooper is a bit lower, not like the Truth Mobile. It's got the bigger tires, no problem with that. The neighbors down the way there have about a $300 driveway apron dealio going on. Okay, so we've got condensation on the outside, right? And now it's gone. I've got my defroster working, and what'll happen is the temperature differential will make that all go away. I'm gonna take this out real quick. I want to unpack this and show you an old school compass right here. Okay, so as I'm standing in the middle of the driveway, we can see where north is. That's north. So south is actually right there. I was thinking it was there. South is right there. Okay. One of the things that I'll do is, as much of my pre-work possible as I'm doing a broadcast, so I'm not going to be a dangerous, distracted driver. I know how to, oh, you're probably hearing some climate control there. Okay, I'm running without the external mic just because it simplifies it. My mobility is a lot better. And I put my new sticker on. The other one got damaged. Let's show you because of putting it in the drink holder. Now I just have it up a little bit. But even here, it'll find its level. That's just what it does all over the face of the earth, right? Yeah, that's what it does. No matter what size level I use, it's all scalable. So a normal battery on a car this size would be about 850 cranking amps. I've got over 2,000 cranking amps and a deep cycle battery integrated into my electrical system. And I go the speed limit too. That just simplifies things for me. Ah, there it is. Oh, and you should see the YouTube in the, I believe, in the proper orientation through there, right? And the globe. Blowing the whistle on the globe and Santa Claus. They're both a lie. So's evolution. We still got monkeys, right? I'll just set the temperature the same inside as outside. 65 right now. Okay, there's the sun I was talking about. We've got the bank right there. We've got a world central banking system that charges money for usury. I'm not saying the money doesn't exist. The purchasing power exists. It's just they charge a lot for it. That's my bank, by the way. I'm using other people's money right now. I'm paying no interest on my money. If somebody, and in the big circles, upper crust, sometimes they'll loan money to their buddies at no interest. It's like giving money away, just so you know. Interest-free money, yeah. I work it right now. I crashed my credit rating because of what they termed as mental illness. I just wasn't born again yet, and I was on drugs, legal and illegal drugs. Now I'm free from all of it. I hope my driving and videoing doesn't make you nervous. I just hold my hand how I'm supposed to and keep my eyes mostly on the road. Enough. And then I've got a cruise control that I'll lock it in, right? Simplifies things. So when I go to Colorado, the over-the-road truckers and people all around will see it. Oh, look at the moisture collecting over the pond here in the trees. That is spectacular. That shows a whole lot of non-air movement. I think I wiped it with my wrong lens cleaner. I've got a lens pen that will probably work better for this. Oh yeah, that's a bit better. The world is full of mirrors. Man, that sun is awfully bright, right? So what you can do if you want to is take a look at the sun arriving and vanishing times from a different perspective. Mostly the Tides Near Me app will let me know when and where the sun appears if it's near a coastal region. There's a haze in the air right now because of how still it is. I've seen on this very road right here, I've seen it where the cloud of the evaporated and condensating moisture is right above the pond. It looks like a little individual cloud right above a little pond. It's amazing. The side of the road there, those are all the reflections in the ditch. The hospital up here, I haven't done drives to the ocean where I'm videoing or broadcasting in a while. That's a mega $1 million medical facility upgrade with a convex mirror on the face of it. See it? Look at that. Wow. Hello. There's a guy who's calling me a troll. Sam Hancock, I'll call him out. He's saying I'm a flat earth troll, that the earth is convex and that it's convexity. I said, how much are you thinking, Sam? He says 8 inches per mile square, exactly the opposite of the spherical globe. I said, that's not observable anywhere. So yeah, I don't know what his issue is. The Earth isn't, he's calling it concavity of 8 inches per mile squared. Can't find that. Too much flat water. I'm fixing to go over the Intracoastal Waterway. When I'm on my wireless router at home, Siri will tell me I'm at like anywhere from 20 to 40 feet above sea level. When I'm on cellular data only and I've turned off my wireless access, it shows up as, she tells me I'm at 11 feet, which is about right. So this is the Intracoastal Waterway right now. It runs along the east coast. It's the big flat spot of water in the middle of the view. So I'm going to take us to the Russell R. Burgess Coastal Preserve. This is the Cherry Grove beach area. This 2018, we were projected to have 20 million guests that came to visit here or will come to visit here. There's still almost a month left, more than that, actually. The tidal activity and all of that, and the duration of visibility of the moon and the phase that it's in is very precision. It's not happenstance. The biblical creation is the sun, moon, and stars moving as a celestial timepiece above the stationary earth. The biblical creation is a non-moving level plane. We've got elevation above sea level, apparently, according to the official sources, of Mount Everest being 5.49 miles above sea level. Headed to sea level right now. I'm just about at it. That's another one of the, this right here is the new Bolanos transport fueling and all of that. They've got, that's where I got the dry ice actually from, vote here today. I don't think there's any more voting. Oh, I didn't vote yesterday. I elected to not vote. Yeah, that's right. I voted in every election, I believe, since I was 18. I decided to stop. It's my way of letting the system know I realized it's relatively pointless. I understand it'll have some effect, but minimal at that. Left and right, two wings of the same bird. They get their way. I'm a pro-life candidate. I believe abortion should not be legal. Murder is murder. Okay, so I'm pro-life. Pro-life to such an extent, I'll use the time that I have to further the sharing of God's word to the ends of the earth around the clock, showing people the biblical creation and giving him the credit for that. This is the tidal area from this vantage point. Did you see the water tower in the reflection? It was quick. Up in the middle of the view, we've got the water tower, and in the foreground, we've got a porta unit. We don't get a whole lot of people sitting on those anymore, but it's trash time, okay? It's just the way it is. This is not just a cell or a water tower. It's a cell tower. And I'm going to show you, we still have the tide coming in, so that's all good. I wanted to take you down the road right next to this and show you what's going on here. I've talked about 3D panel construction. It's pretty amazing stuff. It's steel reinforced concrete. That's what AT&T used for a lot of their cell tower stations. That's not what this one is, but it's also, this is a cell tower as well. There's multiple wireless apparatus on there and a porta unit because they're working on it. Okay, but this right here is going to be a monster cell tower, evidently. How would you like to live right next to that? How would that be? There's the reflection of that right there. See it? It's all scalable, it's all repeatable. It's not only seeing the reflection, it's knowing where the reflection will be. That's part of the photographic and videographic challenge, is to find it and show it. Down below is the evidence that that tower is going to be a lot bigger. They talk about 5G. When I talked earlier about weather modification and using dry ice, yeah, that's old school. How much they do of that now, I don't know. They can modify weather with electronics. High active auroral research in Gakona, Alaska is a very high powered antenna. I believe it was told to us that it was for communication with submarines. I don't know, probably. They've got a lot going on. Here's a big crane flying. How beautiful. There should be puddles all around. It's pretty calm. The tide is up, coming in. Now I can see the wind picking up. How can I see the wind picking up? I'll show you. The windmill is spinning. I've got a lot of videography here. There's the Prince Resort. In fact, I'm gonna show you right there. There it is, in the middle of the view. I always look behind me if I'm ever going to do something like that, just so you know. One of the other evidences of new life in Christ is I'm not afraid, period. I have a healthy reverence for God, not a fear of man, though. That's what I'm talking about. So I've got a friend who's got a worldwide ministry, says he's afraid of the dark. Bummer for him. Does he know the Jesus that I do? I don't know. Not the way I do. Like I say, I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. There's a large crane out on the end of the dock out there. Now with the wind, I might need to grab my mic. I think I probably will. I think I might have it with me. I'm not exactly sure. Yes, I do. So this is the little woolly bear I wrapped around my microphone, and it seems to work pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to swipe this back so I can hear if there's a problem. Can you hear me talking right now? If you can't, please let me know. Okay. Well, hopefully it's showing up. Hey, I don't monitor the chat normally. I swipe it to the side. Hey, good to see y'all there. All right, excellent. You know what? Let me just bring this back. I normally don't do that, but it's okay. Yes, you hear me. Excellent. Thanks. Okay. Look at this. Look at how awesome this is. Now, I've got captures where it looks like the sun is in the midst of the clouds. Today is another spectacular day for it. Okay. Let's bring it out. Let's whip it out, see what I can put together for you. This is the P1000 with precision ground infrared lens. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. Let's see what we can come up with here on that. I'm gonna have to put it right up to my eye, and then I'll go live. I'll merge it if it's good for later. All right, it's pretty. Too much light. The density of the clouds is not friendly to show what I wanted to show. I'm going to elaborate on what I started telling you. Okay, so today the sun came up right over here. In the summer, it came up way over there. Look at the difference. Today here, in the summer, coming up right over here. Yeah. That's why I would say you don't feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating. What I did with the YouTube Truth shirts, I've got them over the seat too. It's a nice way to dress up vintage leather seats. By the way, that's a '94 Lexus. I'm not rolling in the bling here, folks. I just use what I can with what I've got. The Porta unit, we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello. It's just water seeking its level. So what it's doing here, high tide in about 15 minutes. There are the clouds above and below. If I center the view of the camera, we get it right there. Hopefully you can notice the symmetry of that. If I flip it around, it's a little weird. What I want to do is take you on out here to show you what this looks like. Let's zoom in on the bird. See him? Yeah, it's pretty tough to keep it tight on him. Yeah, the rescue bird that got bashed up against a building or something didn't make it. I tried to save him, but he didn't live. I'm gonna take a picture of this bird and then show him to you. By the way, when I brought the bird back after the storm, I put him out here and he was alive. He just didn't survive. I don't know what was wrong with him. I'm having a problem with my focus on my camera. It might be my UV lens or my infrared lens. I'm not sure. I'm not going to worry about it. The primary thing I'm working on right now is showing you all the flat water. What I can do is zoom in with this 10 times with just an iPhone. That's pretty impressive. The technology is amazing. One of the things that is easy for me to notice, and I'll tell you about it, the different textures and reflections on the water based on the surroundings, the aerodynamics as they interact with the fluid or hydrodynamics. And of course the reflection of the sun follows the eye of the observer as well as all the other reflections. Wow, there's another big crane out on the end there. Oh, here one of them goes. There's his buddy right there. That's why I brought that rescue bird out here. I thought it'd be a great place for him to make it if he was going to make it here. This video will be converted, of course, to a YouTube video for a little bit more visibility. I'm blocked from commenting in a group right now until November 9th at 8:40 a.m., at which point I'll come out of the gate running. Nathan Thompson, if you're watching and you can contact me on how I can share or add people to the official Globe Flat Earth discussion group, I'd like to do that. I know you made an announcement you were wanting to do that at the Flat Earth Conference. What I don't want to have happen is to get blocked again. If I hand you my phone and you do a procedure that gets me blocked from Facebook for a month or a week, I wouldn't want to have that happen there. However, at another time I wouldn't mind adding 5,000 or 8,000 people. Right now I've got my 5,000 limit friends, and then like I believe it's 3,400 followers. I'm just going to set that down for now. What I've done before here is turn this on. They might have it turned off for the season. And yes, they do. Okay. Not functional. That line right there, the blue line, is the line that would freeze anyway. These traps have been there for a while. I don't know what the story is on those. But I've got photos of this on my photo album and videos where this is low tide with virtually no movement, showing a virtually perfect glassy mirror there. Right now the breeze is blowing from left to right. It's coming out of there. So it'll be somewhat of an offshore breeze, holding waves open a little bit longer for the surfers. And once the new tower is up, that monster tower I was showing you they're working on, I'll probably have better connectivity at the Prince Resort. I've had broadcasts from there that have failed miserably because of a lack of connectivity there. So that's kind of a limiting factor, of course. And then I've got what I was going to say. I'm going to try and put my photo album link on my YouTube video. If you can see my photo album when I link it to my comments on YouTube, if you can leave a comment that you see the photos, that would be helpful. Joey Rocha, I know you had mentioned that they're disappearing. Photos are. What happened, this is what happened as far as I know. Joe McLeod, Under the Dome Photography, wonderful young lady from down under in Australia. She even had the Australian accent. Took my call, we talked for a little bit. When I sent my photo album to her in a private message, it comes up as not visible. When I copy and paste my photo album in a comment, it doesn't show up. Even on my own photos, apparently, it doesn't show up. And I've been a busy little beaver putting my photo album on each one of my photos' comments. It's not showing up. However, when I take that same copy and paste it to a status update, a post on Facebook, it shows up. So you can see over 2,800 of photos of the sun and the moon and the tidal activity all around this area if you care to. If you ever run across one of my links that's not showing up and you feel like tagging me in it, please do, or commenting on it. On a given day, I may have 1,000 notifications. I can't get to them all. I'm really, sometimes I'm overwhelmed with it. Other times I just realize I'm gonna be able to comment on some of the stuff that's pretty new in my recently posted activity. However, other times I'm going to miss some of these acknowledgments, even the haters. I've got a guy who's been visiting my pages and typing a bunch of pseudoscience and all of that. You know what? Some of this stuff actually provides a good amount of evidence of the assault on the truth, giving the false representation of reality through digital graphics and all that, as well as just what would apparently be intellectual sounding responses. Like probably what fires me up the most, and I sounded a little angry yesterday on my live broadcast. I was a bit perturbed. I'll give you that. Jesus gets a bit perturbed too. He gets angry. He gets angry when he's misrepresented. He could stop it from happening. He doesn't. He allows it to happen. So do I. So here's what really gets me fired up is when people say, like, what did she say? I've examined your fruit, talking about me, and found it to be bitter. She wouldn't say judging intentionally. It's the religious hypocrites that are, as best I can tell, unlikely born again. Remember, I'm the guy that says repeatedly, thought I was born again until I actually was. That's a big deal. And I don't pretend to have the spiritual discernment to walk in a room and say, yep, you're in. No, you're not. I don't know. It's just that if somebody, for example, Nathan Roberts and I were talking about this, and he said, you know, this whole globe deception is somewhat of or biblical cosmology is somewhat of a litmus test, and I would agree. I would totally agree. If somebody is praising Jesus and believe we live on a spinning, wobbling, gyrating oblate spheroid that totally defies our day-to-day observations, I would say, well, I don't believe they're born again. I don't know. I can't know for sure. What I would simply say, if somebody is talking about the Holy Spirit within them, is telling them that I'm deceived about this whole flat earth thing, I would say, no, I'm not believing the Holy Spirit's telling you that, because that defies the reality of the biblical proclamation of a stationary earth with the celestial bodies moving above it. So let's flip this around, show you a little bit of beautiful reflections in the area, what's going on out here right now. In the shot right here, I've actually broadcasted on YouTube from the Gospel of John to the Book of Revelation. In nearly 12 hours, the tide rose and fell. That's over 5 feet of water rising and falling. Yesterday's broadcast, there's the water tower right in the middle of the view that we saw from the other side. The tidal area where I was walking around outside, where the water was flowing. Well, you can see yesterday's broadcast if you like. I'll link it together with this one. It's about 3 miles away there. It was an interesting broadcast, to be sure. They all are to me. I've got photos of perfect calm water, perfect symmetry of reflections. We can still see reflections there. It's just that the ripples put the reflections elsewhere. So these are stickers, and I'll have thousands of them at the billboard and at the conference, the Flat Earth International Conference. Right here in the view, a little bit glassier water, wind coming directly from that direction, And then there's aerodynamics. Glassy water next to the edge of the upwind of the direction of the flow. So the ripples are coming towards us. They look different than the ripples going away from us. We can't see much of the reflections of buildings or stuff when the wind is coming at us. When the wind is at my back or at my side, I can see all kinds of reflections because of my vantage point. It's the shape of the reflection. I'm helping decode some of this stuff for you. Okay, in the middle of the view, what I'm going to show you is the reflection of that building zoomed in 10 times. There it is, right there. And the reason why we can see it better there, I've got to flip down and go back, is that it's the wind direction. There's a glassy spot right in the middle there. And that'll happen where you're taking pictures if you want to. That's one of the reasons why I shared just the beauty of what the gentleman, I'm not going to mispronounce his name. He's on my first liked video, on my 1,400 and some liked videos. You can see it. He shows about the beauty of reflections, and he's got photographic tutorials for the iPhone, knowing some of the features of how to capture beautiful videography and photography. I think at this point I'm going to take us over to the Prince Resort at the open ocean, which is right over there. I may stop off along the way and show you the water flowing under the road. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. So to be clear, when the tide is out here, there's going to be 5 feet less water. It's almost a 6-foot tide right now. It's going to, the area will have 6 feet of water leave here. That exposes a rugged bottom underneath. I've seen people sink into their waist in mud right there. In the shot right now, we've got a demonstration of buoyancy. You know, there's it's just what it does. The lighter than floats, heavier than falls. My seashell would float on the water unless it was filled up with water. If it got cracked, it wouldn't float anymore. Even though there's ripples on this pole right here, the windmill pole, it's perfectly vertical. The water is demonstrably flat. See that? Right in the middle of the view. It's what it does. We should have some pretty good sized waves out at the pier right now. This area is teeming with wildlife. Those are a bunch of minnows coming up and coming right to the top of the water. I don't know if you could see them. An 8-foot bull shark I've seen out here, and dolphins, not right in this area, it's too shallow, but in this water nearby here. It was caught this summer, and he cut the head off and threw it back out there for crab food and that. That's okay. It's part of the, he didn't do anything illegal or immoral. It's just the way it is. It's the life cycle. Just to unpack some reality there, the drain is in the low spot in the parking lot. That's how it actually works. And we can see the reflections. Oh wow, my light's on. That's going to mean my battery is going to go dead soon. Okay, so I've got to kind of hurry up to take us to the beach. So I do watch my videos and evaluate like the sound and the cinematography. It's not meant to be a masterpiece. It's more or less kind of like what we can do. And I really try to have some reasonably good quality and safe conduct when I do this. I mean, I'm certainly not going to want somebody to be injured because I'm video or broadcasting while I'm driving. This mount right here is most likely what I'll use for my videography when I drive out to Colorado. And I do believe what I'm going to use is my iPhone 10 as a hotspot, and then I'll use my iPhone 6 as a broadcast device. That way I'll be able to be on the computer if I want to. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it's not like I haven't had an accident in years and years. Yeah, last accident was when I was under the influence of drugs. I don't take them anymore. Don't need them. Don't want them. So I can park right off to the side of the road here, which I will do. And I want to show you where I have a video of the water swirling in opposite directions underneath the road. People park here often to catch minnows and that. It's not a problem. The thumbnail for the video I'm talking about shows two whirlpools right next to one another there. There's a highlight of a reflection there bouncing off of, wow, where in the heck is that coming from? It's going away now. I can't tell exactly where the source of it is. Now that I am, there's some more of them. I can tell you where those are coming from, those windows right there. The sun's hitting them. The reason that matters, that's just all part of the seeing the reflections. The world is full of reflectors. I look both ways when I cross a one-way street. Some people are going the wrong way, just so you know. Okay. This is one of the reasons why I have the Watercross shoes, because they are excellent. I could go rock climbing with them if I wanted. Okay, so out here I've seen the water spin opposite directions right next to one another. I don't know that I'm going to necessarily link that. You can see it in the video thumbnails on my YouTube channel. Care to. Right out here, a lot of birds will congregate later. It's covered up by a couple feet of water. There's like a little, well, a high spot there. It's demonstrably very flat. This is called locally here they call it the low country. Well, even other places people call it the low country. It's demonstrably flat. There's no curve there, folks. None whatsoever. Can't find the curve, can't feel the movement, right? It's just the way it is. I realize this is basic for a lot of us that know that. One of the reasons why I will elaborate on it is because I believe it's helpful, because some of these videos are going to be shared, they are, to groups. And I am also aware that there's people that are watching the videos and not acknowledging that. They're not commenting, they're not liking, disliking, or any of that. So because the wind is at my back, I can't see the reflections of the building there, and then right as much. It's somewhat there, and it gets better and better as it gets calmer. It's just the way it is. It's how it actually works. It's the reality of the world we live in. So I would go so far as reality is for those that can't handle drugs like me. Legal and illegal. Don't need them, don't want them. I know I say that a lot. It's just I've met a lot of people that have been victims of a very diabolical system to drug them out of effectiveness. So just to be clear, now that I'm born again, I just see the world through a whole different set of eyes. The data that I look at, I process a lot different. Not afraid. The ocean's right there. My blinkers flash fast, not because I've got one burnt out. I've got high intensity light emitting diode that have a very low draw, which makes them flash very fast. I know I had a comment that I've got a blinker out. No, they work great. High intensity like me. That's what you get, a high intensity guy. So I could park way out at the end there and get almost no views of drive-bys, or I could, and I think what I'll do is I'll just take us for a little drive out and then park back. Meet a lot of interesting, fascinating people here. Yeah, I don't drive on the beach. I had one of the people critical of me says, I've got a nephew that's a police officer. You're driving on the beach. I said, no, I'm not driving on the beach. I just drove up to the edge. I don't mind going to the edge. Hey, fisherman. All right, so let's see what we got here. Done a lot of videography and photography here. This is the Prince Resort, Cherry Grove, South Carolina. They do have some, oh, they took the sign down. Evidently they don't have any available for sale right now. The Hoffman Group is the one who had been handling this. I've got video of sand being pumped up on the ocean from the ocean floor. What they do is they vacuum it up with high-powered diesel pumps, wash it out, pump it up on the beach, move it around with bulldozers. One of my videos is a thumbnail of a bulldozer going under the pier right there. Pretty interesting. A 9-foot blade diesel electric cat, $600,000 Caterpillar. Diesel electric is what they use to operate locomotives. Very powerful. It's not just the horsepower, it's the ability to put it to use. No visible curvature on that horizon, right? The water seeks its level, covers the face of the earth, fills the shape of its container. It would be impossible for this, the weight of this, to hang on to a spinning globe, wobbling and gyrating. It's not possible. Reality indicates the globe is a lie. Okay, so doesn't matter how many degrees or letters somebody has around their name, Doctor of Divinity, answers in Genesis. Yeah, they got it wrong. These folks that are supposedly Christian ministries and they're promoting the globe, they're deceived. Therefore, they're also deceivers because they're very public and proud and deceived. Pride is a powerful catalyst for deception. I get people that tell me that's me. Talking about me. They're saying that I'm proud and that I'm deceived. Oh well, yuck it up. I think that's my friend Tabitha. Hey Tabitha! I don't think she could hear me. Fascinating lady. I have friends who now live here. They're renting. Beautiful place to be. Got a lot of hours out here. God set the boundaries of the water. Good morning. Hey Tabitha, I had you from a distance. Good to see you, dear.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Excellent. I'm live on Facebook right now, and I'll turn it to a YouTube video in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Would you prefer not being on the camera, or do you mind me just panning on a... This is my friend Tabitha.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks. What a
Now,
beautiful
you're just
day, huh?
Enjoying the morning. I'm a little late this morning, but it's still pretty.
I started this one early at home, showing some things at the house. You can see that if you want, including naked kitties, floating seashells in my front yard, wind chimes not moving much at all.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I looked in on yours yesterday. I said, I don't know how it looks out on outside. I said, let me look at Robert's page. So I seen how the sun was coming up. We're going to go this morning.
Oh, well, you know what? It was threatening rain. That's why I didn't take my my Nikon 1000, a P1000 out there. I'll be going to Colorado soon. I added Denver onto my weather, being able to know what the weather's doing. It looked a little chilly at night. I'm not going to car camp in the Denver International Airport.
It's really cold.
Yeah, it's in the 20s at night.
Yeah, right now.
So
it's
so
really
what I'll
cold.
do, I'm going to roll into the. Let me leave it. I'll leave it like this. So what I'm going to do is roll into the Denver area, park nearby where the sign is going to be, the billboard, the Flat Earth billboard. Did you see that it's on my Facebook?
I did. I just saw it.
Yeah, and my friend Jaron did an excellent video to show how to get
Every
there.
people out there,
Oh
I
yeah,
saw
so
it.
I'll be on the what I'll do then is be parked close by that morning and then roll on in so I can get a good parking spot for the Truth Mobile that I've got over there right now. Now there's our you can see our shadows right there. See, that's our. Go ahead and wave to the audience if you want to. Shadows and reflections, all kind of interesting, isn't it? This is so beautiful out here. All right, hope you have a great day, Tabitha. Nice to see you. All right. Oh, you too. Thank you. I'm sorry?
You should look into the flights with Frontier out of Myrtle Beach into Denver. I know you want to take your car.
Yeah.
But in the future, you get there, you may meet up.
Frontier's a good
Yeah, and this month they're $40
$40.
each way. They're leaving on Saturday and Wednesday is the days they're leaving and coming back.
No way.
To Myrtle Beach to Denver.
Oh, wow.
Because I was going to go this Saturday and I was like, oh man.
That would save me about $500 worth of fuel. Frontier?
Yeah, and then you can just get a room and go and just tell them who you can meet there.
Wow.
So consider that $40 for this month. They're leaving out on Saturday, coming back on Wednesday. But you know, you could catch a different flight back.
I would
And
need.
if you're interested, I could look them up for you. I'm great at the flight thing.
Well,
Fly.
thanks for the tip on that, Tabitha. I'll think about it. The deal is I'm looking forward to the ride, to check out the ride between here and there, as well as I definitely want to have the vehicle there. That's the big story. The big story is ordinary people, apparently like me, are telling the world the truth that we are basically being lied to. I want people to seek the truth. Good to see you, Tabitha. Thank you, dear. So that's I would like to be able to save money on the travel. The Tabitha was mentioning that $40 one way or each way out of Myrtle Beach to Denver. Interesting. The challenge would be that I can't get the car there on the plane, so I think I'm going to stick with the drive. The deal with I've got the car labeled up so it'll be seen. I don't know of another YouTube car labeled up. I'm sure there are. I would think people have done that. I did it because I wanted people to take note and to check it out. And it isn't like I say that I've got the only YouTube truth channel. No, not at all. There's a lot of channels that I subscribe to that have powerful content. In fact, that's part of the construct of my channel, is other people's work. I share it. Like Robbie Davidson, who did the Global Lie, Scientism Exposed 1 and 2. I'm actually, Robbie put me on the 24-hour video feed, that 37-minute video that's featured on my liked video playlist. That's there too. And you know, I watched it. I'm standing in the kitchen of the house that you saw me in earlier, and spinning the globe and talking about the impossibility of it. That's just the reality of it. The globe exists in the mind of the deceived and the deceivers. How about that? So I enjoy the ride. Like when people are rolling in, I'll just give them plenty of time, wave at them, smile, let them the logos on the car. I'm not one of these power drivers that's being rude on the road. I just enjoy the ride, and I'll enjoy, I believe, taking you on the ride to Colorado. That's part of what I wanted to do. It's this is a mobile broadcast studio. You know, I've got all the stuff for that. The power to charge everything up, that was the big deal. The inverter I have in the car, that's really been helpful. And then I've got these little jump packs that I got from Costco. I can actually jump start a diesel truck with a jump pack that's small enough that I can carry on my motorcycle. It's smaller than a videotape, if you remember what those are like. You know, it's small. It's a small battery pack, and I can charge my phone with it in that. I'm just going to try and position this a little bit different, see how it looks for the camera angles and all that. Yeah, it's really, really interesting, this whole dynamic of telling the truth. It's unpopular to the deceived. It shatters their paradigm or the structure that they have for their belief system. So when people are used to seeing me as a drug addict that's on drugs and crazy, to now have me be a person that's exposing the reality of the world that we live in, and the people they viewed as the intelligent ones now apparently are those that are deceived. It turns the world upside down. That's part of what happens with this. At least that's how I see it, how I believe it actually is. It shatters their world perspective. It means that so much of what they've believed. Okay, so I'm going to own this personally. When I was asked the question where the curve is, and I looked for it, that was February 15th or 14th of 3 years ago. And Nigel Bakes from Tasmania asked me where the curve is. I couldn't find it. I had been busy creating audio video Bibles. And he commented on one of them, asked me where the curve was. Well, I couldn't find that. What I found was that there was a whole lot of deception at a level that blew my mind. I knew about conspiracies. I just hadn't even considered that they were lying about the very shape of the world. And what that implicates is how many people are in on it. Many of them aren't just unaware, like I was. A homeschooling dad at a Christian ministry. I thought I was born again, and I wasn't. And that was one of the biggest shockers for me, is when I was actually born again, I didn't have the fear of what people would think at all. And I just wanted to know the truth more than anything else. I'm convinced that that was divine intervention. The quick, short version of it is, I believe God's grace is required to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. I don't see how anybody is going to get this unless they are aided by the Holy Spirit. And I don't just mean the shape of the earth. And I don't mean just this or that conspiracy. I'm talking about the reality. Are you actually born again? That was the question I wanted to know. About 4 years ago, Robin Williams committed suicide. And I tried committing suicide in 2005 while I was on Prozac and Depakote. And there's a high morbidity, meaning a lot of death around those drugs, both suicidal and homicidal, and sometimes a combination of that. We've seen it on the news or heard about it on our news feed or just heard about it in face-to-face. I was told by a friend, Greg, yesterday that one of the locals, actually he was in Conway, a half hour away, committed suicide because he got flooded out again. They're modifying the weather. They create, who are they? The deep state, the shadow government, and more. There's powers that are involved in weather modification that are extra, I'm convinced, extra dimensional. I don't mean like little green men from Mars. I mean like spirit beings that have been involved in modifying the human genome, as in the days of Noah. So would it be when the Son of Man returns. This morning I was listening to the book of Revelation for a while. I say for a while because I went to sleep listening to that. And then when I was listening to the book of Acts, I was on a ship in my dream. I'm going to flip this around. This was a vacant lot. I'm pulling over. I'm going to pull in for a little bit. I just want to show you something. This is called Bridgewater. And this was an empty field with a water tower that was right there. You can see it on my videos. Now it's a development that's massive. A lot of new homes. They transport trees in. Maybe some of you have seen that kind of thing. I've taken photography and videography of this place when it was an empty field. We've got the power company professionals here to install the power supply. A lot of power is going to go into this. And then we've got the contractors and all the service personnel that work with the contracting companies. They drive from all over. When we had the flooding, this site, although it wasn't flooded, the people that worked for these companies couldn't get here. So, yeah, hard hat and safety glasses required beyond this point. Well, I'm not driving in, I'm driving out. But I've worked on construction sites like this. Talked with some gentlemen yesterday I met at the Goodwill. I get a lot of good deals at the Goodwill. And we had a mutual friend, Michael Majeur, out of Greer. I showed the steel reinforced panel that goes into the shotcrete construction of the cell tower substations. They build houses out of this stuff. I'm going to show you as I drive back. There's just no good way to do a U-turn here. I wonder if he'll go and check out the YouTube channel. He can see I was filming him or broadcasting him. That's part of the deal. People are curious. They'll look into it. What do we have here? Well, we've got water seeking its level. Electricity to power a pump to push the water up, and then it just falls back down. Thanks, Johnny B, for one of your proclamations. We've got up and down. Don't overcomplicate this. It was on one of the earliest videos that I saw. I spent some time with Johnny B, his wife, and his son. Really cool. I've met some of the coolest people at the first Flat Earth International Conference, and then also the people that I meet from all over the world with this. In the shot. No swimming allowed. That's funny that they would even have to put that sign up there. Yeah. Oh wow. You never know. I wouldn't be doing it, but so like in the view here, we've got the beauty of creation. I'm going to take us out here for just a moment. I want to show this to you. Some of the people that will live here are attracted and drawn to this area because of the medical facility that's conveniently located there. There's a senior living center, but then there's also condos. It's you could move in here and transfer from a condo that you own to assisted living and more. Look at this. That's why people come here. They come to the ocean because it's beautiful. It's reflective, reflecting the lives of the individuals. There we've got some seniors with an active lifestyle. Up there they're jogging, you know. We'll see people jogging, and then after a while they'll be rolling with walkers and wheelchairs, and then they're going to transition out of this realm, out of this world. About a year and a half ago, my dad died. His body died. That was what I said. My dad's body died. He didn't really die. His body did. 3 people per second no longer have the human experience. We can see the wind direction because of the water flow, right? The clues are all around. It's about a 7-mile-an-hour wind coming from there. You can see the flat water. Now that I see the clues all around me, reality just exposes this. We've got the concrete pipe going under the road, and then we've got the flat water over on this other side here. It's just what it does. Under my car, what do we have? Well, we've got water seeking its level under the car. The dripping, see it? That's the condensation coming off of my air conditioner. My climate control. Car camping in this day and age is pretty comfortable. I've got enough propane and a torch to heat that up. I can use a hair dryer. Here, let me show you. Can your car do this? Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's the Truthmobile. So here's my inverter. And this is my dad's hair dryer. I bought it with him. Yeah. Can your car do that? I can power everything up I need to. When I'm driving down the road, my alternator is powering up a deep cycle marine battery that's got 1,000 cranking amps there. I know how to do a lot of stuff. In the shot, in the view, perfect symmetry of the flat water, right? Right there. The power grid is powered by the differentials in temperature as it relates to evaporation, condensation, and precipitation that fills reservoirs, dams. We've got hydroelectric power. We've also got nuclear power that heats up water. Notice the reflection of the sun hitting the water stream. I've never seen that before. It's the first time for me. There's the concrete pipe equalizing the ponds. The pipe is a little bit lower in the water here than on the other side. It means the pipe is tipped a little bit. There's my shadow right there. See it? The flat water shows that tree, those trees right there. Perfect symmetry of the reflection. I'm wanting to, this is somewhat of a spoiler alert on your life. In a good way. I want you to know what you're living in. You're living in a world where I believe the Bible is true and all other words are suspect. It takes less than a day to hear the entire New Testament. Did you know that? I'll listen to it when I'm awake or asleep or almost sleeping, meditate on it. I had an interesting happening. I've got an old school iPod. It's like an 80 gig iPod. And it's like when they first came out with that one. I forget how many years ago it was, maybe a decade ago or 12 years ago, something like that. And it started doing stuff on the counter. It was just sitting there and all of a sudden the light went on. I don't know what activated it. I don't know what's going on with that. There's a lot of mystery in this world, how things actually work. I didn't even know it. I don't know if one of the cats stepped on it. I don't know. I'm hoping it still functions. I wanted to flip this around. We can see the shadows of these right there. Shadows and reflections have to do with the light source and then the eye of the observer. The shadow has to do with there we can see the perfect, now I'm putting myself in the water stream down there. Shadows have to do with where the light source is. So right here, I'm, well, you can see it. And it's similar. It's kind of like a mirror of a mirror, right? There's some symmetry in this community. There's a designer of this community. That's what I'm talking about. This community has a designer. See where I'm going with this? There's an architect. Then there's the landscapers that come in. And then there's the power company people. I've worked on job sites like this with steel toes, hard hats, worked in the oil field. I've got a very diverse vocational background. I've been a job trainer. I had when I was in my teens in Texas, and I managed a jet ski rental outlet, the lady that saw me interact with the youngsters, teaching them how to ride a jet ski, said, "You ought to be a teacher." I said, "Thanks. I've been a teacher for a long time, teaching people how not to do things and then teaching them how to do things." It's all kind of interesting, isn't it? Okay, so what we would expect to see at the job site would be exactly what I noticed. A lot of porta units, the bathrooms outside the job site. On a big job site like that, there will be a whole bunch of them in a few areas, right? You know, it's break time, a whole bunch of people need to use them. Then on a job site like that, one of the buildings, now there's just one of them there. They'll take turns. But man, when it's break time, there's a whole lot of guys normally that need to use the facilities. This water right here, it's worthy of showing you. Okay. I showed you water that had pumps in it and fountains. Now I'm going to show you water that's being stilled because it's very shallow and because it's being stilled by the grass and all of that. See that? Very shallow water, and yet very reflective. We can see how shallow it is there. How about there? Not so much, but we can see grass coming out of it, so we know it's not real deep. But we can see the symmetry of the trees. Who does this kind of thing? Take you for a broadcast. I don't know. There's probably other people that do this kind of thing. I'm not actually creating an outreach on what I've seen other people do. It's more, this is how I want to help educate people, to show you, if you want to. What I've said before, if you want to have your own YouTube channel and even name it Truth, like mine, you could use what I'm doing as a template. What happens if they decide to take my channel down? What happens if there's a whole bunch of channels like it? That's what I'm talking about. I don't monetize my channel. I'm not buying more coffee beans because you click on my videos. It doesn't work like that. I've had people say, what do I do? Well, I do this about 20 hours a day, whatever this is, and that includes updating my status, getting all these things ready to work on, right? It's a big deal. I think I could lose my broadcast at any time now because of power. So I'm going to kind of put a wrap on it, but I wanted to. This is the Bridgewater Design Gallery Villas model. We can see tracked little small devices like that. They've got tracks on them instead of just wheels. You know, we've seen development of cars and micro equipment to work in developments like this. Look at how nice this place is. This right here stops a lot of the garbage from running in the storm sewer. Now the storm sewers that filled up, that were operating in our neighborhood, started delivering water to our neighborhood from the Waccamaw River from the storm Florence. Okay, right here we're looking at an area of expansion, obviously. We've got the heavy equipment and all of that. And a Volvo. Yeah, we had a Volvo station wagon. Could see it from the satellite imagery. Yeah, like I'm going to see a Volvo station wagon from a satellite in my burn pile. I do a lot of photography. You can't see a Volvo station wagon from hundreds of miles away. Or even 20,000 feet, 5 miles away. See if you can see a Volvo station wagon from 5 miles away. Come on, you can't do it. If you're riding down a desert road and there's almost no humidity, how far can you see? How far can our eyes see? Come on, folks. So high altitude aircraft can take photos. Just because they say satellite imagery, yeah, doesn't make it so. So this right here, I've never done this before, but I'm gonna do it right now. I don't get compensated by Bridgewater. That's not what this is. I'm wanting to demonstrate some of the aspects of this community and the world that we live in. People come from all over the world to visit here, and they love it so much they want to move here. So they're living it up. I'll just roll with this. I have not been here before. They're living it up. They're soaking it in, living it up some more. Retirees, right? Look at them. There they are again. And here's the amenity center. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Coming soon. That's what we're looking at here. And then we're looking at some clay. Clay is slippery. Gather round. You like a campfire? I do. Think there's campfires in Colorado right now? Absolutely. I love the fragrance of firewood. And then they're living it up and enjoying it. Look at the flat water. This looks like photography. I do. I've got it. You can see it. People paddleboarding, surfing. I show you this stuff. Look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that nice? And of course it's all staged. They need to. Actors and models and that. And then right across the road is where the hospital is. I've got a friend who owns a memorial garden where people are placed after their life is in this dimension is over. Yeah, that's how it works. That I still have an eternal perspective. I haven't changed that. I'm still very much about the Bible. I hope you get that. I removed those Bible.com from my car for this reason. A lot of people heard it said, don't judge a book by its cover. They'll be the same people that'll say, oh, you believe the Bible? That's a fairy tale. That's what they may say. Okay, so what's the evidence that the Bible is real? We've got prophecy and fulfillment, the foretelling of future events. In the book of Revelation, Jesus himself says that he is the spirit of prophecy. He is. He foretells future events with absolute precision. He changes lives. Look at me. Do I look like a 57-year-old drug addict that used to smoke cigarettes in the shower and drink vodka for breakfast? Come on. I'm a new man in Christ. I'm free. I don't need that. I don't want it. So I'm sharing, God is not a cosmic killjoy taking the pleasure out of life at all. What he is is the creator that gives new life to his children. Yeah, I can see the chemtrails too, the weather modification. I talk about it. Here, let's flip it around and show you in the accurate orientation. It's going on, but okay, so here's the disconnect though. There will be people talking about the chemtrail and then smoking cigarettes and drinking liquor. Oh well. I'm not drinking liquor, not smoking cigarettes. I put really healthy stuff in. I rinse my nasal passages out with that highly purified carbon filter solar activated water. My sense of smell is acute. I smell freedom. That's what I smell. Freedom. Do you see it? People enjoying life. Do those people really enjoy their life? They may. That's an advertisement for this area. What I'm showing you is an advertisement for new life in Christ. It's what I've been doing for ever since I was born again. I was even doing it before I was born again. I just didn't have the power of the Spirit to get the job done. So the YouTube Truth Mobile is going to be at the Flat Earth International Conference, Billboard, and the Denver International Airport. I'll be probably driving through because, hey, when I'm rolling down the road in a nice vintage car all stickered up and I'm not camping where I shouldn't, hey, I'm good. They wouldn't tolerate me car camping in the long-term parking at the Denver International Airport. I don't blend in now, do I? And of course, those of you who have been following me know that that's obviously intentional. So, here we go. What do we have to show you here? The water seeks its level, covers the face of the earth. Remember earlier in my broadcast, you can check it out. We had the street light showing the light in the water. To end it up impromptu without any planning of this end of shot, I've got the water seeking its level, the light of the sun, the reflection of the sun in the water, right like that. It's a beautiful thing. It's the world we live in. It's the stages of life. Come on and relocate to the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. Cherry Grove, we've got an amenity center that's being built for you. I would like to have more of my friends move here. That would be cool. You can call me anytime. My phone number is 1-843-504-1776. I don't know if I'm going to change the number or not. That whole Illuminati thing and the Illuminati, as Jim Carrey was saying, it's surreal. It's absolutely kind of weird. We live in an upside down world, don't we? Thanks so much for your likes and shares. And remember, if you want to break me out of Facebook jail for groups, you can copy and paste my or share my videos there, because I can't. Not until November 9 at 8:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much.